broken baker, where crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We say it's time to go. Whistling truth, battering news, mixing stories, solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken, with a spark in our eyes. In the broken baker's kitchen, the secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift the blues, defy the rules, with a spark in our eyes. The broken rise. Broken rise. Welcome to the broken baker. Get ready. Let's go.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Jimmy, I just don't get it. How do you get it? Oh, we're live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And welcome to this Jemima special. I'm sorry I misspelled your name in the title. But as some of you might know, Jedi Jess went to law school once. Didn't like it, stayed away from the rest of her time in school. But she claims she once read a book. So she has been talking about how bad that interview that Sarah Boone has tried to kick out really is for her defense. Her defense is abusive,
Battered spouse.
battered spouse, and self-defense. And that's what we're going to discuss today, how well the facts line up with a defense of that, because YouTube and Twit is a magical place. And for those of you who don't know, I don't do any homework. I don't look at anything. I just get text messages from the ladies saying, "Hey, stupid, look at this." And I say, "Why?" And they said, "Because someone said this and it's stupid." And I say, "Okay." So we have small discussions when we see someone claiming, well, it could be self-defense leaving someone in a suitcase, or it's typically battered spouse to just laugh at someone and videotape it. That's typical battered spouse defense. We tend to discuss it a little bit behind the scenes, and then we thought, we're going into Sarah Boone week. Probably won't start. I don't know. What do you think, ladies? I'm thinking Wednesday.
Wednesday, I'm saying.
Yeah, which is good because I have a meeting tomorrow. But Sarah Boone is coming up. We have covered all the hearings. We will be covering a little bit of her inmate reports. She's become a better inmate, but there's still some good bits in there. So we were talking about what should we do for this special getting into the week. And Jess is saying, well, she's leaving, is saying, well, let's look at the legal stuff behind the defense, because it don't make no sense. And people believing that Sarah Boone is better off with James Owens, well, he knows when to object probably. But Jess will probably go into a 25-minute tirade about his performance at the last court meeting and his ability to write motions is the word I'm looking for. Sorry, we have technical problems in the background that I'll have to read at the same time I'm trying to talk. Helloless Mom. The
Yeah.
upcoming storm will postpone the trial. The Sarah storm is coming to town. Well,
Mm.
she raised a hot and heavy storm in my pants. Finally, Baker got her name right. I have
No.
known her name, Sarah Boone, all along. I never misspelled that one. Hey, Ernie Birdie. Nicola, stay safe. Hey, Jackie McGee. I haven't done enough research on the position. I'll have to go back and look on the internet tonight. I got distracted yesterday. Something called a spinner, but they were mounted to the ceiling. Different position. Still intrigued me. Hey, Coffee Nut, we are going to the store with you. That's nice. What are we getting? Jamie needs some coffee creamer with coconut and vanilla.
Ugh.
Hey, Mr. Fed. Fed has a new video out.
Yay,
And
Fed.
Helen from Holland. And
Hi,
Irish.
Helen.
Ready for some Boone booty for Baker. Mm-mm-mm.
Irish, stop. Stop it.
I'm not a half an hour late. I was 2 seconds late, and that was just because Jamie was telling me about. She knew a guy named Rob, and
Rob.
she didn't say he could do the ankles movement, but she said he was an interesting fella.
He was an interesting fellow.
As a Midwest cornbread boy, he could drag 100 pounds around no problem. Hey,
I
Lindy.
mean, he'd have to. I'm a lot bigger than 100 pounds.
Well, but it wasn't in California. Hey, Melissa and Jackie Seidel. Panilla, always here, together with Kay Swan, Debbie Blair, Amy out of Boston. Carolyn Collins, do you have your ducks in a row? I have my guard dog.
Your guard duck.
It'll watch over me. Yeah, I don't know. When I say dog, it sounds like I say dog.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy. And Carol, how are you? Did I find someone to help me with the position? No. I am perpetually single.
He's doing it on his own.
Yeah, I've been trying on my own, and I'm just not flexible enough to get my ankles above my head. It's not working. My gut's too big. My hips are too old and set. It's not working, Jamie. It's probably something I'll have to try if I come back to the States. Hey, Lorelei.
You go right ahead.
And Flash Fan. Peter A. Tom Gillis. Of course, we're talking about his bow, and he's here to take her away from me one more time. And Carolyn Collins and Julie Cayley from Central Florida. Hope everything's good down there. You just got out of one storm, and now another one's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 Drokes. Dream suburb from Serbia. Jess is a real attorney, y'all. As a real attorney, she can't work her camera, her internet at the same time. So that's why we know she has her bar license.
I think we've got it finally. One of my connections was loose.
Yeah, it's better now. Definitely.
Hey, Kathy. I need to read up on this case. All I know is that she has gone through a ton of lawyers. Well, Jess, can you give the quick, what you call it, the script notes, clip notes, what you American call it, on the case?
Oh, sure.
Cliff notes.
So, Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. Click
Yeah.
Notes. Yeah, you were saying, or you saying Click Notes?
Cliff
think you're
Notes,
saying
Cliff
quick-
Notes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to know what Cliff Notes are and the website that it was, and it probably got you
yeah.
through high school English.
Sure.
So basically, Sarah was apparently having a great day with her boyfriend, and they decide to play hide and seek. Somehow, we're not quite sure how because she hasn't explained how. He winds up in the suitcase. There's maybe some very sad videos of her taunting him, and then she decides to go to bed, and unfortunately her boyfriend is unalived the next day when she goes down like 12 hours later. She calls her ex-husband first, and then calls 911, claims she was doing CPR, but the autopsy doesn't show it. She doesn't sound like she's doing it on the 911 call. There's some iffy things. They eventually have Sarah go down to the police department. They do an interrogation.
No. We're not skipping that fast.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I forgot the straddle the bush part. While they're processing the scene, she's, hanging out outside because you can't go back in the house until they finish processing the crime scene. And at some point, she ends up straddling over a bush, trying to get a drink of water from a hose. See all you 90s and 80s kids who have drank out of the hose. Baker loves this part.
She was very hungover and cottonmouth.
Very.
So she needed that drink of water. And they wouldn't give her Dr. Pepper.
And we have confirmation of that because she said so on the stand in her last hearing that she was very
that's pretty
hungover.
Stupid because as we will, I don't know if you have that clip taken out. Yeah, I think you have, where she claims she didn't drink, she couldn't drink, she won't drink.
Yep.
And then she took the stand. We'll go. Yeah, let's just discuss this.
We'll go there.
As a lawyer, I know you're not practicing criminal law, but you still have a basis.
Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to Daryl Brooks, how stupid was it to put her on the stand, which can be used to impeach her during the trial?
Very, because you don't even have to jump the normal hearsay rules because it was a statement in court, so it doesn't even qualify under hearsay. It was a statement under oath in a court proceeding about the matter.
Yeah, and she's crushing her own credibility.
Yeah.
Because she adamantly yells in that video multiple times.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't, I don't, I won't drink.
Not only that, but you see her demeanor is very different than her demeanor was on the stand in that last hearing. That last hearing, she was I was very hungover, and I am, it was chaos, and she's very quiet and reserved. And then if you watch when you watch the interrogation video, it's the complete opposite. She's at least calm at some points, but she's not that very quiet, soft-spoken calm. It's a very different version.
Yeah, and she gets angry every time anyone says anything, either that she could have made a mistake, or if they don't buy her story, she gets angry instantly. And you can feel it. If she's not in the driver's seat, no one's in the driver's seat. You can just feel she's that type of woman who is used to just badgering you over and over and over until you just say, well, okay.
And she says it, though, in when she's talking about that I don't drink alcohol and things like that, she likes to be in control. That's a slip of an admission of, how she really feels about things.
But it's not intentional. Yes, that's...
Yeah. Don't worry, I didn't clip every time it said that, and apparently I did not plug my laptop in. 1 second.
Again, this is how you know you're working with a professional lawyer. Everything that tech-related isn't working. Later, I will ask her what's 2 + 2, and she will get it wrong.
It's 4. I'm not that bad.
You haven't practiced law for that long. If I'd asked Dave the same thing, he would have said somewhere between 250, 300 an hour.
I could see that. The kind of law I'm in, I have to be able to at least do basic math.
But it's just so weird that because I don't know anything. We just always hear about those billable hours, and it's really very important to count all of that. But 2 plus 2, nope.
And those are like done by 6-minute increments, so it's like usually a point something. It's really silly.
And it's that's just weird. Hey, Mary Murphy, happy Sunday to you as well. But should we get into it? And you have sent me some timestamps, and I'll pull them up, and then you can talk about what you believe. I like your 3 lights. I have 4.
Maybe your head was
3
wrong.
lights.
There's that math for you.
Another lawyer joins the chat. But let's see what you want to jump onto, and see how good my girl Sarah is doing. Audio up. Booster on. Let's go.
Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck.
If you have anything, just raise your hand if you want to jump in, so I know it.
Like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. Like they occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, you know, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, like, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over the house too, so.
Well, your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh gosh.
From my understanding, he was there like last Tuesday.
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week. So.
Well, we're talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because, like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about.
Yes, the pregnant pregnant officer is the one who took the stand.
Day before yesterday.
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So we're talking about Sunday and then into Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head and skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
consider
not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have.
You can see it there.
Yeah.
When they ask her questions and she gets defensive, she gets loud.
Yep. And she gets aggravated or like a bit angry. Like, how dare you accuse me of it? And one of the things is she's going for self-defense. So the very first thing that in self-defense is an imminent belief that you're in imminent harm. And based on all of this, she's saying there was nothing that could be imminent harm. Nobody put hands on each other. I have no idea how he got those injuries. You know, it wasn't from me. So it's one of those where that makes it sound like they were relatively calm leading up to it. There was no aggression. There was no fighting. He wasn't coming after her. You know, there's nothing where some people have alluded, well, maybe he was about to attack her and she decided to try to get him into the suitcase to contain him. She's saying, though, and she's the only one we can really find out from, because unfortunately Jorge's not here anymore, you know, that it was a good day. We hung out. We did nothing. Like, there was no fighting. No one touched anyone, you know, and hurt anyone. I don't know where those injuries came from. So it's one of those that kind of throws your self-defense right out the window because you weren't in fear of an imminent harm. And she's admitted that over and over again in this video, which is why her attorney, I'm sure, tried to get it out.
Yeah. And The critical part of that night, she has no idea what happened because she was
Yeah.
blackout drunk. She doesn't want to admit it, so she's doing her best to spin it. Well, yeah, that's the critical part, that she can't remember it. But willful intoxication as a defense is what?
Not.
It's
It's
not
not
a
a defense.
So she could have been doing all the pink coke off a stripper's testicles all night long, come home, passed out, and forgot she left him in there. And it would still be willful intoxication, and she would still be just as guilty as if she had been 2020 clear-minded. Nothing in her intoxication is a defense.
No.
But it's really interesting that, first of all, she gets so defensive when they start talking about the injuries to his back and to the side of his face. And I've been one of those. We heard about that possible stair bump he might have taken.
Yes, there's a neighbor that had spoke to police and said that he heard what sounded like something falling down the stairs in the middle of the night. Now, how accurate that is, I mean, when you're in those type of buildings, those walls can be really thin, so it's completely possible it's true, but we don't really know. We know, and she admits later on in the interview, that she flipped him over at some point, so that could be what he heard. I mean, even 100 pounds, that when you flip over 100 pounds, it's gonna make a thud noise.
Yeah, and Kathy, I didn't think you meant it was a defense. It was just because I have heard, again, one of the reasons we're doing this stream is because someone out there is swinging for the not guilty on this one and using all of this. Well, she could have been in danger. No, because she clearly testifies multiple times. Nothing happened. We didn't lay hands on each other. No one was angry. And this is what they're going to play in court. Not the Sarah Boone who today thinks that, oh, he was treating me like Garth Brooks treated his hairdresser. It's because then they will play this video and they will say, are your memory better today than it was back then?
Mm-hmm.
And how could we believe you now when you, the day after, told us this story, nothing had happened? And I believe they talked to Brian too, and he said that she had claimed nothing had happened.
Yeah. Well, she's on the body cam too of the responding officers saying nothing happened, saying the same thing over and over again. That, you know, it was a good day, that we had a good afternoon, we just had fun, we relaxed, you know, no one hurt anyone. And that's going to be the biggest problem for her for self-defense. Never mind the battered spouse syndrome stuff, never mind anything else, is that she herself says that there was no imminent harm coming. Like, when you compare that to, say, like at the Ashley Benefield case where she's saying he was lunging at me, to this, she's saying, no, nothing happened. I don't know how he got those injuries other than the scratches, some of the scratches on his back. I don't know how he got the rest of them. So, like, that comes to say, well, okay, clearly he got injured somehow, and you're saying that he didn't harm you. What, you know, where's that trigger of incoming harm where you can suddenly respond with harm?
Yeah, and Cachette, she said she wanted to wear a skirt, but then the shock angles showed. She's not going to be allowed free roam of the courtroom anymore because now she's not representing herself. So she will have to sit at the desk, and the only time that she will have shackles on, she won't have handcuffs, but she will have shackles on in the courtroom. They tried to get that out of there, but they won't do that. And again, people can say, well, she's a 44-year-old woman looking like she's 70. But that doesn't matter. You don't they go by the crime, not by how infirm she looks, because they've been wrong before.
Well, not only that, but look at the neighbor case that we watched with the older lady. She did not look good in court. She looked like the cat lady from The Simpsons. So you get to look presentable and not look like you're an inmate, but you don't exactly get to, you know, look like a beauty pageant either.
Yeah. You don't get the glam squad, sadly. Hello.
And I've seen a lot about that whole glam squad things, and she's like, she just asked for some makeup, yada yada. But if you actually look at Owen's motion, he says professional hair and makeup.
Yeah.
That is not the same thing as just wanting some access to makeup and doing it yourself or something else. He's saying professionals. Now maybe that was a mistake, but still.
Well, because he wanted to do it in the back and stuff like that, and they told him no. Because he was asking about that. And then he turned it into, oh, well, they can just do it at the table.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Thank you, Baker.
He wanted to do it in the back. Jamie, this is a Christian channel and it's Sunday, the Lord's Day.
Oops.
Yesterday we had all the smacks talk. And today you go straight in with he wanted to do it in the back. I think her team shouldn't go for battered spouse. I think they should use Darwinism as a defense. Yeah, if he can't survive being in a suitcase, Darwin hadn't believed he should survive. Flash fan, that's why we're doing this show, because some people claim it's an okay defense. Because I heard the theory that it went from self-defense to battered spouse and then to an accident or something along that theory.
Right,
and I'm sitting here thinking, but it can't. Because battered spouse, that's normally where someone just walks up and deletes someone with a pew-pew or something in the middle of the living room after 20 years of being used as a piñata. Both of these people have used each other as a piñata. We know from Brian, she used to attack him as well. That'll come into the trial. No one is going to buy battered spouse syndrome.
No.
Then you have the self-defense. But self-defense ends when the threat to you is done. You can't leave someone by accident and then it's okay because we refer back to the self-defense part. That's still unaliving. You could say, well, maybe we can dial it down to manslaughter.
Right.
But
because that's what accidental killing or unaliving, is manslaughter.
Yeah.
I flipped the hiker. It was bound to happen. So I mean, and she still can be criminally responsible. That's why we have manslaughter for DUIs and things like that. And even then, like, people who are trying to say that battered spouse is a defense, it's not actually a defense. It's just part of self-defense. And only essentially allows them to bring in a psychologist to explain what battered spouse syndrome is, why they stay even though they're pretty regularly under the imminent threat of harm, and why maybe this time was the time that made them, snap and decide this was it. It's not a separate defense. It's just kind of allows the jury to consider that to be reasonable versus, the average person fleeing.
It's to kind of take out that the clear and imminent. It can just be because you are in some kind of PTSD mode and do it because you are afraid that he did it yesterday, he did it the day before, he's going to do it again tonight. That's when the battered spouse thing comes in.
Right.
And Mr. Puddletown's been here for 6 months. I feel like I've been here all my life. Well, if you're 6 months old, you've been here all your life. I believe it was an accident, but Sarah made it 10 times worse. Probably.
See, I think the part where they were able to escalate it, instead of charging just manslaughter, the second degree, is because for second degree, there's a part where it's like with ill intent, or not intent, it's like ill will, hatred, spite, or something else. And the taunting video of this is how you make me feel really, I think, allowed them to escalate it to second degree. Now, they'll probably also include a lesser included of manslaughter, and she might get that if they believe, it was an accident. But those videos are not going to be in her favor.
No. And battered spouse doesn't bring it down from murder to manslaughter. It can be a self-defense.
Right.
So it can be a legitimate unaliving.
Right. At that point, the battered spouse just substitutes in that reasonable person standard. So normally it's just, what an average reasonable person would believe in the situation. Battered spouse just says, all right, yes, you still consider what a reasonable person would do, but also consider this factor for someone who's been in an abusive relationship for so long. It changes the brain. This is considered reason. We consider this reasonable. So it's just kind of one of those things where they could get off or be found not guilty if you truly have a situation where they were battered. But I mean, if you look at the Ashley Benenfield case, I think she had a stronger case than Sarah does. Do I think it was a perfect battered spouse injured case? No. And plenty of women have gone to jail or prison because they were battered and unalived their abuser, even with the battered spouse syndrome being included. So it's one of those that it's useful, but not all juries are still gonna find it and find that it was self-defense.
And again, as Island says, and if you're claiming battered spouse, it's an intentional act. Then it's not unintentional. So again, she runs into the wall of all of her statements constantly.
Yeah, and one of the I think it's either the next clip or one of the next few where she says I didn't unalive him or whatever, and it's like, but for self-defense, you admit that you did the act.
Yeah,
like you
I had
admit
to do
you
it.
did that act.
It was him or I.
Yeah.
Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording like that you were not drunk. He was not drunk. You guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk.
Yeah.
I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics. We are not, but you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Look at her face.
Yep. She cannot drink. She does not want to drink. I
need to be in control. I need to be in control. That's a typical thing for the abuser in the situation, not the victim.
I need corpus mentis.
Yeah.
Out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite.
You can actually see her thinking. I don't do body language because I don't know Sarah Boone, even though I probably know her better than most of the body language experts who go on court TV or make their own YouTube channel claiming they know people. Just look at her face when she flares up. You can see she's actively thinking, what the fuck am I going to say? I'm going to embiggen this so you can better see it. I'm going to take this off.
Like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures. Him loving.
You can see her eyes. Yeah. Oh, no.
Bug out.
Yeah, and it's just they're going all over the place where she's just, oh my God, how am I going to tell this?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. G and I will be doing a special next week.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to go on with him and say, nope, I think you're wrong. I read it differently. Nope, it's clear sign of something else.
We all need devil advocate opinions.
That's why I have Jamie on.
Gotcha.
Look at her wild eyes. Yep.
Who says who are not lawyers? I was not corpus mentis. Someone who read corpus mentis means your faculties and now uses it every time they can, because the lady testified she used it in the car the day before as well. It's It's one
I
of those.
guaranteed she Googled somewhere at some point on some device. She Googled
Why is
for
everyone
unaliving.
claiming I get cranky?
Because you do.
Well, then you can run the show.
Anyways, Jess.
Yeah. It's definitely her facial expressions, and like when you compare this to her on the stand the other day, it's a complete 180. And that's going to be a problem if she does take the stand in this trial, because they're going to see this first, and then they're going to see her on the stand, and they're going to be going, who is clearly the wrong one here? Or like, who's lying here?
Well, yeah, all of her statements have been, if she's going the other way, are a complete lie.
Yep.
So how are you gonna spin that?
Well, yeah, and how do you spin her constantly saying no one hurt each other, no one put hands on each other? I think at one point in this interview, she even says, I don't have injuries. Like, that's kind of a problem when it comes to defense, in the sense that, like, you had no harm coming at you.
Well, yeah, and I don't think even her coming up there and saying, well, I was just scared, and this is why I did what I did, said what I said, I don't think that anybody's going to buy that either.
No.
So.
Not when you see her, like, oscillating emotions in this one. No, Iris, he didn't leave. He's just in the background.
Yeah.
Thank you, Holly Mack. You are the only one who is truthful on this panel.
Documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end. But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court ordered.
Oh, that wasn't the thing you put in there.
No, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Even
but
that,
again,
though, like, she's talking about his probation and, like, bailing him out. We heard in the last hearing that there are text messages and stuff on her instructing him how to drop the, like, protection order and stuff against her. So.
Yeah, and we saw her in those police videos from earlier arrests. How she, when they take him away, she gets flustered because she needs him there to be. It's those. We talked about that in what other case was it where it's, you see it a lot with addicts. They live shitty lives, but because they live them together, they have to be together in their shitty lives. And I bet you she'll recognize Brandy in the courtroom.
Oh, probably. I'd be surprised if she doesn't.
Yeah, and she's gonna try to talk to her.
Oh yeah.
But Brandy's going down there. Lawyer, know your lawyer.
Lawyer,
maybe.
you know. Yeah.
No, know your lawyer. Know your lawyer is filed in court documents, so that's
they
legal
always
now.
get it wrong. It's so weird.
But her voice irritates you, yeah, because it's that the drunken school teacher voice.
Yeah.
So annoying. Sarah is good at thinking. She's the smartest person in the room when she is just smart enough to keep up and know enough to know she knows she effed up and thinks she needs to get ahead of it fails. Yeah, she's smart, but she's not that smart. She's normal intelligence. I want her to sue the judge for that's defamation. She was a straight A student. And he claimed in his ruling that she was just normal intelligence.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
That's such a weird. That's such a weird thing. Your battery's about to die. You're watching a man begging for your his life, and what you're noticing is, hey, your battery's about to die.
Well, it's because she knows she got caught.
Yep.
She's just trying to deflect.
And again,
she doesn't want to hear it. That's the problem, because she doesn't remember taking those videos.
And she's like, shit. That's how I feel. She's like, okay, how am I going to talk my way out of this one?
Whenever our high school math teacher was drunk, she just passed out origami paper and books. We always knew. I had a teacher in culinary school. When we arrived, the class was there was a music festival in town that weekend, and it was Friday morning. Classroom was locked, and we were like, "What the f's going on?" And we went up to the office and said, "He's not. We don't. What are we going to do?" Because we had to be there, or else we'll get in trouble because it's mandatory when you're an apprentice. And another teacher came down and said, "Well, we're just going to open the door, and you can sit there and wait till he'll come, and after 15 minutes, you can just leave, because then he have to give us attendance if we came in. He was sleeping on the teacher's desk. Well,
That works.
and we were, oh, this is going to be interesting. And he was the guy who always had stories. He was such a funny guy. He was the best teacher I ever had. 95% of the class didn't understand a word he said, because he gave you gold, but he put it between all these kind of stories where you're sitting there. That's funny. But you had to listen between the stories, and you'll have all the notes you needed for a good exam.
Yeah.
But they got him. They got him on his feet, and the other teacher left, and he just sat down, looked at us, and said, "Anyone has any cigarettes?" Yeah, sure. Can we just agree? How many hours are you having? I said, "Well, we're having you to lunch, and then we go home. Have a nice weekend." He was just done. He was so good drunk. This was after my gang days. I was back in my apprentice days. I stopped being in a gang when I started being an apprentice.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
look
when
at
he's
you,
straightened
changing
out.
your life around. Yeah, changing that life around.
Yeah. Sarah Boone makes me want to get married.
No, Baker. No.
To this day, I can turn anything into a paper crane because of that teacher. Next time Ralphie is on Stabby Day, she'll turn one of her donkeys into a paper crane.
That could be interesting.
This is why my child is an honor student on cars should be outlawed. It gets in their head and they believe they're a genius. Don't give false hope. Let them be dumb. Yeah, especially these times with participation trophies and everyone is a winner. No, it's not.
Being an honor student is overrated.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I'd rather have street smarts.
You have to have like a certain GPA. It's like usually like a 3.2 or higher you have to have for a GPA, and they'll tag you as honors, but like it don't matter in the real world.
No.
Yeah, how many valedictorians I've seen like completely crash and burn when they get to college?
Yeah, because they only learn to study, and
Yeah.
and they can't think on their feet, because they've learned this teacher needs to hear this, and then they'll like me, and they can't switch. I have my when you are finished and get your exam, you become what's called a Sven. That's everyone who has a degree in or finished the apprenticeship as a baker is a Sven. That's just from back in the days when you had guilds. That means that you can now work as a baker. So I have a piece of paper where my final degree is on. I have shown it once in my life, and that's when I sought compensation to get into teachers college. That's the only time I've shown a piece of paper. No, I showed in the military too, because then I got an extra $20 a month because I had a craftsman background.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever shown off my like 2 paper versions of my degrees.
No.
Because I have my bachelor's, because you have to have that in order to go to law school, and then my Juris Doctorate one. And I don't think I've ever shown that off. Same thing with like your bar pass score. Like I don't even remember it. I just know that I like passed. That was all that mattered. Like
I did so bad because you can get 2 different subjects when you go to your final exams. There's 2 main. you have to do all the bread and all the rolls and all that. Everyone has to do that. But then there are two types of either you have to do like Danish pastry or puff pastry. And I couldn't, I had nothing planned for puff pastry. What do I draw? Puff pastry. So I was just, I'm gonna effing fail.
Yeah.
I went in with back then we had a 13 step, or our grades went to 13. I went in with an average of 10.5 from the written exams. And when I came out from the handcrafty things, I was down at 8.46. When I get into the evaluation room after, he was, oh, how can you get 10.5? That's amazing. I said, don't care what I'm going out with. Oh, 8.46. Bye. Went outside. My buddy was outside standing with a beer, and I said, yes, sirs. And just, I was sure I'd fail, even though I had such a high entry grade. I have never pulled any Chuck Norris moves of anyone, but I want to start with Sarah. Remember to get some kung fu jeans. Some
stretch
jeans
first.
Yeah. She is absolutely annoying in every way.
Yeah.
Let's just rewind this a little bit and see just how she reacts to the videos that she didn't know. Funny, she didn't want to get these thrown out.
Yeah.
Because they knew they couldn't do that.
Yeah. There's no reason not to. She voluntarily gave her phone over.
No, she was coerced. You know that. Dr. Jemima.
No one uses that in law.
Are you a doctor when you're a lawyer?
So it's a Juris Doctorate, but no one uses that. And like before you pass the bar exam, some people will put the JD at the end of their name. And then after you pass the bar exam, it's the ESQ.
Esquire.
So the SQ.
Esquire. Sounds fancy.
It does.
Yeah, IQ has nothing to do with intelligence. It's just if you're good at math and spatial awareness. Me and some friends did the exam for Mensa, or the thing where you can apply.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. If you're good at math, it's pretty easy. But
and a lot of it's pattern recognition too.
Yeah, and let me just say, when you get invited to one of the parties because you passed that initial, it's the most boring part because of all of them are professors, and we were 3 Tom Bakers. We just went in there to show. Everyone thinks handyman crafts folks are stupid.
Oh.
Oh. Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh. Okay.
It's just so weird that that's the only thing she shows no emotion.
Reaction. Lack of reaction. Complete lack of reaction. All she says is, I don't remember it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, this is where you said.
Let me.
Or it's like a couple minutes from now.
The battery doesn't last very long.
It used to last a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
That's something all of us men will say. Just smile at us and say, "I know, honey. It used to last a lot longer than that."
Let me just grab something.
All right. No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you.
Just because she's nasty doesn't mean I can't marry her. A lot of good men have married a lot of bad women before in history.
If you've ever done that before, you look kind of shocked
and vice versa.
Okay, but why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am.
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
Okay.
I accept.
An outstanding mother to her son who
She
to
also
have,
put in a suitcase.
and she had to have Brian call her and remind her it was her day to pick up her son. Outstanding mother to her son. Just outstanding.
Sell everything.
Sell it everything.
I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock zip somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't like completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
Okay.
And that's the part you wanted played, right? I wasn't planning on going upstairs.
Because she frequently says throughout the interview that she wasn't planning on it, but we'll see it later on in another clip where she like kind of slips and talks about leaving him in there for 5 minutes. And it's like, well, that's a plan. You planned to leave him in there. It's just maybe not the full plan that you remember.
Waiting for the rants of the effing second ex-wife. Well, it's going to be new content when I crash and burn this channel. I'm going to make a new, it's going to be a dating advice channel by the baker. How I got burned twice. She looks smaller than I thought she was. No, she has that slight build of an alcoholic.
And she's 5'3", 130 pounds when she was arrested.
Our next conjugal visit.
Let me know how that works out.
She has the flexibility.
She can't breathe, and you're saying fuck.
So this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
it was flipped up.
Right. It was flipped up normal.
Yeah.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
I flipped it.
Flipped it. Yep, and that's where the problem's going to be, because those injuries that were post, like his head injury and the other scratch, could have come from when she flipped it over, and she just admitted she flipped it over.
Yeah, and again, that also shows no imminent danger that she has to self-defense her way out of.
Well, and it shows that she's not afraid of him either, if you look at the battered spouse part, because a normal victim isn't going to do something that's going to harm their abuser, because then they know they're going to get it back 10 times worse. That's why the trigger is always the unaliving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's killing her right now.
Yeah,
it's literally killed him.
Yeah.
Right.
That was another thing that, like, the jury's going to hear that and they're going to be like, well, you're not even concerned that, you know, he's saying he can't breathe.
No, and as Anya said, if she was so afraid of him, why would you leave him enough finger space to unzip the suitcase?
Yep.
And she would have left or called the police. Exactly. And that's why when people are... And I like a good grift. I might be a grifter myself. So you always try to get that. You always try to find where there's least resistant. That's why Yellow Cottage Cheese is claiming that Karen Reed is clearly guilty. And some people are claiming that in the Idaho 4 case, there's so much shenanigans going on that he's in. I don't know. I haven't followed that case. But there's always someone who will tell you that Corey Richards didn't do it or something like that, because there will be 7% of a law and crime chat always believes the opposite of the rest. If you can have those 7% watch your channel and give you the views or the super chats, it's a good grift, because the rest of us who think Sarah Boone is absolutely cray-cray, we will have to share the 93%. So the good grift is to get those easy 7% just by saying, well, it was self-defense. How? Well, he had prior DVs. Well, she was never arrested for it. No,
she was.
Yeah, but she was never. There was no charges for it. Yeah, but he was, never, convicted. He was never convicted against her.
She was charged.
Yeah, but so was he, and he was never convicted against her in any way. Hello,
They were still unresolved.
Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
When did she flip the suitcase? Between the two videos, there's 11 minutes between the two recordings, somewhere in there. And that's why I can't get that, because people are saying, well, that's when she threw him down the stairs. But that doesn't add up because it's in the same spot, it's just turned over.
Well, but like I said, if you flip over someone that's 100 pounds, it's going to make a thud noise, which is probably where the confusion's coming in. It's probably that the neighbor heard the thud noise of being flipped over, and maybe him like pushing on or banging on the floor or whatever, and mistook it.
Yeah, that's why. No, I can't see any way those two videos is erupted with a staircase, anything, because then she would have to have either drug it back up the staircase or us, and I can't see her doing that.
No.
But I think the loud noises is when she probably flipped the suitcase over.
Yeah.
What's that interference? Is that the FBI? Yes, it's a star stream from the transformer that's inside Jess's computer. I think it's her microphone cable that's a little loose. It was a good day.
It was a good day. They had a great
Yeah.
day. She can't
Hello.
drink. She won't drink. She will not get drunk.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did she push him down the stairs? I don't know. As I normally say, unless I have some filings or we hear it from, I think it's one of those things that's just somewhere someone said something and it's become a thing that she pushed him down the stairs because the neighbor heard some loud noises. He has that injury to the back of to his back, but he also has an injury to his forehead.
Right.
If she did it, it must have been before the video recordings or after the video recordings. And I don't know where this video recording is in relation to where his body is found the next day. I don't know, so I can't tell you. But I just know she couldn't have done it between the two videos because I can't see any way she could drag him up a stair again. He's 140
No. He's about
pounds.
100 pounds. No, he's lighter than her. He's about 100 pounds according to his autopsy.
But you
That's
go
still
put
heavy.
100 in a suitcase and he will be squirming. No, I can't see them. I can't see her moving him up and then pushing him down some stairs and then putting him out there again, especially in the state she's in.
And I would expect some more bruising. Like I would think there would be more bruising on the body for if you'd gone downstairs because you've got to figure a different body part's probably going to hit the stair as it's tumbling down. So,
well, Puddletown, I know that grifting is a form of swindle, but it's also a YouTube term that you call everyone that's not you because what you do is pure and innocent. Please like and subscribe, everyone. Join the channel, join the Discord, follow me on X. That's just because I want you to please do all the good things. But everyone else who says the same, they're just a grifter. It's just that everyone calls me a grifter and never puts me on the grifter list. That's why let's embrace it when all these idiot calls us grifters. Is it my headset is it one of yours that makes that sound?
It's not me.
Can you hear it, Jamie?
I hear it.
Yeah.
Which means it might be mine.
I think it's your microphone.
It's just like static comes in and out a little bit.
Because I was thinking, do I need new monitors? Or did she hit him with the baseball bat? Again, I believe that the coroner's report doesn't state when in relation to his passing the injuries occurred, other than it was sometime before.
Yeah.
But again, you don't suffocate in a suitcase in 5 minutes. It would have been hours.
Mm.
Yeah.
So those took a while.
Yeah, that bruising would have been some time before because it'll be maybe she whacked him when he was inside the suitcase. I could see the head wound could probably be from him trying to get out, and she whacked him in the suitcase. The back wouldn't be as easy because that would be up against the sides of the suitcase.
It could be also. I don't know if this one had any, like, mine all have the handle that extend up, so like inside it's got those 2 bars that run down the back, so it could be that hit, like where his head was, is that part of the head just hit that when she flipped it.
Yeah, that could. That's that could be a thing.
We know she flipped it, so we at least know that much.
Yeah,
Kimberly. But there's just nothing in any reports that she did that. That's all we're saying. I don't know when. I know a neighbor heard noises, but again, it could have just been a suitcase flip because if it happened at 1 a.m. and he was sleeping, every loud noise sounds like an earthquake.
it does.
Yeah,
I remember those days.
Did she handle him by the ankles, Jamie?
Possibly. He's tiny enough.
Yeah, he's the same size as that makeup lady. The sound is from an unshielded cable interference, most likely. Do you have 2 cables running right next to each other?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
do you have this type of connection? It could be because it's beginning to wear out.
Yeah, it's that type. I'll have to replace it.
I'm just saying. You don't bruise when you're dead. No, and that's but you can bruise a lot when you're waiting to die of suffocation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and if he was still alive, like say she did toss him down the stairs and he was still alive, then he could still get bruising.
Yeah. And again, it's just we don't know what occurred. If it was a baseball bat, if it was thrown down some stairs, banged into a wall. That's one of those things we'll have to wait for the ME to, if they're even going to give a guess, but it didn't sound like the autopsy report gave any definitive answers to it.
No, so I don't think it did.
So I don't think it's going to be anything. Hurricane coming will delay the trial. It's supposed to make landfall Wednesday. Don't jinx it. I have been waiting for this for 6 months. I'm going to make $1 million. Sarah told me so.
At most, it'll be like a day.
Yeah.
If that. I doubt it'd be very long.
Courthouses are sturdy buildings. It'll survive. It's Bauer fault.
Is it going to that area?
Yeah, it's supposed to come like right across Florida this time.
Yeah, he said he heard something sounding like something was going down the stairs. But again, if it's at 1 a.m. in the morning and you just wake up and you hear, who knows what it is? It's just, I can't say with any degree of certainty that she took a baseball bat to him, she punched him, she pushed him down the stairs. I don't know, because that's hearsay. That's actually hearsay.
Yeah.
Because that's what someone else said that I have no first-hand knowledge of. She could have fallen up the stairs when going to bed because she was so drunk.
That's
true. Came at that's I stopped hiding in suitcases when I play hide and seek because of Sarah. Sarah saved your life.
I feel like we need a sticker that says like suitcase awareness. Thanks to Sarah Boone.
Yeah.
Something's funny already like that.
Didn't Owens indicate that some of the neighbors was just poofed? Said something about not being able to find some of them for witnesses. I think that they were trying to get one of the neighbors, but they could only get the building manager or something.
They have depositions for a lot of the neighbors.
Oh.
Like the first attorney did depositions with pretty much all of the neighbors. So if worst comes to worst, they do have that. But then she's got prison-based investigations. Like, what have they been doing this whole time? They should have been trying to keep track of all the witnesses. That's what their job is to kind of investigate and find things for the case. So I'd be going after them, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and they will be defense witnesses if they want to try and say, well, she was always getting treated as a pinata. Do you think she plays hide and seek with her fellow inmates? No, she plays snitch and try to get them moved. Shore Life Creation. I'm going to make a poll about that because I, to this day, still haven't figured out. Even my nephew, who's 10 years old, said, but she knew where he was hiding.
We're playing, and then, like, I thought it was, my plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to, he'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep.
Yeah, that's again about her plan. My plan was not. So this was planned. That's again that lifted up to from manslaughter to second degree. There was some forethought going into this, right?
It would go towards first degree, but I don't think they have enough for it. Because she's saying my plan wasn't.
No, but it means there's some malice involved in it. Because
yeah. And it goes more towards that ill will or hatred / spite thing, I think. Because she planned to leave him in there as like a punishment and then kind of just more or less recklessly disregarded the fact that it could unalive him.
Mm-hmm.
Just made a poll. 49 minutes. That's this.
I need to tell you this again. Mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the screen. Are you going to put it on the screen?
Okay.
What happened?
Everything was fine and dandy.
Everything fine and dandy.
Was fine and dandy.
Fine and dandy.
Okay, for me to tell you this again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left him there to
kill him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out no harm. Because you don't.
Then he doesn't. But you don't go check on him. You say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even moved.
And
you admit to moving the suitcase like over. So
you roll it.
You roll it out. Like it's not like
I didn't want it to be like that. Don't.
You didn't want him to be upside down. How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear.
That's how he talks to me most of the time.
That's how I talk to him all the time. Shut up. F you. Yeah. I love that they just keep asking questions while you can hear him back in the background and he's just I didn't mean to. It's she's such a bad person.
You can also see where she gets angry that they're accusing her again.
Well, yeah. And she says, hand on the Bible. I did not do this.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Get.
Yeah. Why are you yelling?
Why are you yelling?
No, she doesn't look much at the male cop. And the next part you wrote, if possible, note the look that Sarah gives male detective right after they leave him in for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Because she gives him such a death glare. It's not even funny. Like.
Well, because I feel like she's really used to getting her way.
Yeah.
And she's not. Yeah. And she's just like, I don't know what to do. I'm like lost here.
Yeah, and again, whenever they pressure her and she knows something's coming, she just attacks. And that's what I'm saying. She's one of those people, whenever you have a discussion with them, they will just yell at you until you say, okay, well, okay. Because I think that was the kind of relationship they had is he might have said something to her and then she just lost it and started yelling until he said, well, okay, Sarah, you're right. So she's trying this again. And T. Salas, thank you for a #1 emoji. Thank you so much. It's annoying that you can't see them on StreamYard. They need to fix that.
I thought they had at one point.
I think it's been rolled out in a different because American. I can't do that thing with the round things that the expert has, which I'm glad because it annoys me with all the dead space around the circles. But and I can't go into dark mode, but Flux can do that. So I think they're rolling it out in different countries at a time.
That'll do it.
Did any neighbor hear yelling besides of a banging sound? I don't believe that night, but they were known in the compartment complex that they had a very, very bad relationship.
And
Everyone
that they were
knew
always
that.
drinking.
Yeah. She still gets away. Well, not as much as she used to, because there's not that much Bruno.
Yeah.
Puddle down. And when she doesn't get her way, she hoards cheese.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not hoarding cheese. Don't shame people, because I love cheese. I hoard lots of cheese
too, but
I have quite a few blocks of cheese in my fridge.
Was it like 100 slices or something like that?
No, 96 was the total count. At most,
Probably,
66.
We could have a competition, probably.
Because I was angry that she didn't have 69 slices. No, thank you so much for watching. It's wonderful to have all you all nice people. 218 people watching us on a Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Where Jamie is celebrating that the Ohio State won yesterday.
I don't even know if they won or not. I hate them. Sorry.
Ooh.
Sorry, all you Ohio.
I
know there's so many Ohio people in here, but you know what? Why am I censoring myself? No, I hate them.
In my opinion, the court is allowing her motions because they hold all the aces and are enjoying the knowledge she's getting live. They don't allow her motions.
Right.
She hasn't won.
No.
The last motion she won was the close.
Yeah. Yep.
Every other motion since then has, I think, have been denied. Every motion filed by Owens have been denied.
I'd have to double check, but I think you're right.
Yeah, I always think I'm right.
If you cite some case law, you have a better chance of winning if you give the judge the authority that says, "Hey, you can take my side."
So you're saying what we read yesterday in the Garth Brooks trial, where both sides had all these stupid California U.S. code that you should do that?
Yep.
But that's annoying to read.
That's how it's supposed to be, though.
But it's way easier when it just says the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah. It is. Trust me. I used to hate having to write papers because your citations had to be in the paper before your like page limit. So like say we had a page limit of 20 pages, your brief had to be 20 pages with the citations in it. So those lovely long sentences.
I have never ever had a problem where I said, "Oh, I didn't have enough room in my papers." I always had the opposite. Where you used all of that, double spacing, make instead of letter size 11, you made it letter size 12, hoping that the teacher wouldn't see it, just so it filled a little bit more.
My legal writing professor used to bring a ruler, and like if it didn't sit right that was supposed to, you failed. She wouldn't even read it.
We had actually we got I did that high school thingy we can have in Denmark a couple of years back, and we had to write 2 big papers, one in just one subject and then one in 2 different classes combined. And there was, you need to use this program, this font, this letter size, and 1.5 line spacing, and it has to be between it. And then some people were just, oh, I'm just going to make my footnotes way bigger. So when you had like a reference, they took out a little citation, then they just wrote the big citations in the footnotes, and they were, nope, we're going to count all footnotes out of it. So, and we had to write like 15 pages or something. It was stupid.
Yeah. With most court filings, there's specifications in the rules of procedure on like the font, the typeface, what counts in what. It can get very specific.
It's annoying. Do you need cheese to make jailhouse hooch? No.
No.
Ada, who has some experience, says you can harden up those cheese slices and then use it to hide stuff in the prison bank.
What a waste of cheese. I am disappointed.
It's also a way to pass drugs. Inmate to inmate.
We have to submit filings in 12-point type Roman letters in our courts. Yeah. Some always trying. Ohio, football, church, and cow tipping.
Look with the cow tipping.
That's fun. My English professor tried to do that to us. I went to the head of the department, reported her, and dropped the class. Her requirements were ridiculous. I got called a fan of the German Austrian painter by my Danish teacher, and then I said, I don't want to be examined by him. So I had
I wouldn't either.
I had a guy sitting next to him the entire exam. I got a 13. That's the highest you can get, so that was fine.
I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
Okay.
And again, that goes against her self-defense or battered spouse. I didn't mean to leave him in there. Because again, self-defense is okay to unalive someone because you are afraid of your own life. So again, her defense is just blah.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was.
You got to put the video on.
I called Ryan and like what?
Jamie.
I taught her well already.
The chat is already saying it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan and like what, 5 minutes?
It's up.
Minutes later, I called you guys. Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, that I had to like I was trying to do CPR. I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR and then call you guys. And I was continually doing CPR with the dispatch on the phone where he had me count out loud to help me focus on what I was doing.
It just, I don't know how, I mean, you can sit here all day long and say, I thought he was going to get himself out, but that.
Will this be a 6 or 12 person jury? Did they say how long it'll take to see the jury? It'll take the time it takes. The judge believed they would be done by Wednesday. This will be a Florida, everything but the DP is 6, I believe.
Yes.
So that's why I can't understand. But again, it's been a public case. It's a 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old case. So they're probably suspecting a lot of people will be thrown off early.
Yeah, I imagine they'll have probably a jury by Tuesday afternoon, I would say the latest.
Maybe, yeah.
This judge seems to want to be like, get it moving.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't understand this case is set for 2.5 weeks. Again, you played the two videos, this video, and say, we rest our case.
I imagine some of it is because it's hurricane season for Florida. So they're trying to build in a little bit of time around that.
Yeah.
And then originally it was going to be 3 weeks when she was representing herself. So
yeah, that could be why they are going with that as well. Because you need you're going to have the first responding officer, you're going to have Brian, you're going to have Detective Prego, you have the ME.
There's a CSI agent that'll probably come in who processed the scene.
Yeah, then a lead detective.
They've
Prego.
They've depositioned, I think, 4 or 5 of Jorge's family members.
But what wouldn't you, as a defense, object to that?
So it was the defense that. So the way it works is when you request a deposition, it's the opposite party who calls for the deposition. So the defense is the one who technically deposed them, but the state is the one who's going to be calling them. And what they're going to call them for is for that, who was Jorge? Like, did he, was he a good dad? Was he, funny?
Yeah, but
like all of that.
But that has nothing to do with the moment.
Well, it kind of does, because it's going to rebut her battered spouse claim.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying
the abusive one.
I as a defense wouldn't allow them to have 4 character witnesses.
So yeah, and that was the original defense attorney who did those depositions, the Mauricio Padilla. So I don't know if he was just doing all of them and was looking for something. But I doubt they'll call all of them. They'll probably call his parents at the very least, and that's maybe about it.
Yeah, but again, I would object to it, saying there's no basis for it. It's just character witnesses, has nothing to do in this case, because they're using self-defense. So again, it's what happened that night. But
right, but you can rebut the like violent tendencies.
Yeah, the battered spouse.
By the character evidence. So it's one of those where that's where they're going to get it in. And they usually get a little bit of it in order to, not as the character, but more who the person was. Like, he was a son, he had kids, typical, like, humanizing the victim, because otherwise it looks like it's just a, unalive person.
They did that with Ashley Benefield's mom as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, one would be acceptable. But again, that's less than 10 witnesses. And the evidence in this case is so small. There's the public's receipts for the 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
There's nothing to go through. This should be a 1-week case. Rachel, I just don't understand why they are using battered spouse. Not one thing fits. I think a drunk accident had a better chance she's going down. I think if she had said, I'm so sorry, they would have given her manslaughter, offered her 5 year with 5 years probation, or maybe 10 years probation, and she would have been out on the street next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she never made a mistake in her life.
Yeah.
And that's her problem.
I think the reason why they're going the battered spouse syndrome thing is because Sarah's pushing it. In the sense that she's pushing her lawyer, saying that she was a battered spouse, and then it should be brought in, and they're kind of just going with it.
Yeah, she said she was on the patio smoking. How could she be doing CPR? She's excels at everything she does, so she can smoke and do CPR at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget
There's no-
how ridiculous that sounded when
Yeah.
she went into that. I am an A student. I excel at everything that I do. You're really, yeah, your life is really rocking
Yep.
lately. Of course you do.
Where's the evidence he was abusive? Multiple times they have
She
both
had him
been.
arrested. Yeah.
Yeah, multiple times they have both been removed from the house. I think she has been twice. He's been 4 or 6 times. Where she and we know she had an RO on him. So yeah. Fun fact: if you flip the second to the last letter in Sarah's Boone's last name on the side, you have Sarah Booze. You do. I should use that. Kathy,
That's a good one.
that's actually one of those that works. Baker wants her to do CPR on him. Only the mouth breathing part.
I saw a question about depositions. With depositions, it's basically a free-for-all. You can ask if anything that's going to be remotely relevant to the case, and then they can still object, but for the most part, the objections won't get ruled on by the court until it's potentially used in court, which not all depositions are, and it usually takes a bit of a hearing beforehand as to why that witness is unavailable for you to be able to use it in court, other than for impeachment.
No, and again, yeah, they're in those depositions. They're just casting a wide net, and then hopefully something will land in it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said the last trial would be a 2-day case. I'm just saying, if I was a lawyer, and I should go to law school.
Yeah, it'll be loads of fun
in America, and I would just sit in there and say, "We stipulate to that. He's an expert." Yeah, but we have no. Just file it. He's an expert. Come on, move it. Don't ask that stupid question. You asked that once. Come on.
Well,
Objection,
especially if
Your
you
Honor.
know the credentials and he's going to tell you. You know, it's not like it's going to be a surprise. Like you're like, wait, I have to hear all of this first. Like you know what's happening, so just stipulate to it.
Zach, because she's covered up for modesty. She's she's a grieving widow in this one. I love when she said, "Remember, I've been out without him for a day." Yeah, because of you,
right?
you skank.
Because of you, yeah.
You didn't, and you went upstairs, and you stayed there for 30 minutes before you fell asleep. But can I say too, like, chose not to ever at any point during that 30 minutes walk back down and check on him?
No, wait 1 second, because I know, like, with you all, and then, like, because you continually ask me, like, time frames, where I told you, like, I don't bother even looking at the clock most of the time. So it's like a guesstimate. So for all I know, maybe it was 10 minutes.
Okay. But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs. Regardless of how long you were there, you left.
Well, skanks can be fun.
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, like, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
When I was upstairs?
No, when he's asking on the video, he asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. Why didn't you let him out?
Well, number one, I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay. This is the part where you want to pay attention.
Number two, just, you know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. I'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based off the video, one video got a lot.
Did you see the look she just gave him?
5 minutes for what?
That is not going to be good.
No. And I don't know what 5 minutes. 5 minutes for what? Is it's sexual? Is what was she implying? I didn't get what she was implying.
A 5-minute punishment would be my
5
guess.
minutes of punishment.
I thought it was something sexual because she was.
Honestly, I think had she gone down the route of it being some weird sexual thing, she would have had a better defense than this.
Yeah. For Baker's Booty Cam to pin up posted, y'all hit the like for this great panel. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, Flux Raiders. 2 days in a row, we got fluxed. It's been a long time since I've been fluxed. I think I'll call that the flux from now on. 5 minutes cannot be sexual. Nobody lasts that long. Mess again. You're right.
Well,
And I'm just looking at the time. You want this to go to 57, so I can go to the
11:12, and the next one's 11:23. So you actually gave him at least 11 minutes per video recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times. I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest with you, I mean,
Were you punishing him?
no, just.
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
This is what you get. This is what you make me feel like.
See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this. I just.
You did.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful. And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is in any way, shape, or form.
But let's get back to this. What was the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be let out? I don't understand that.
What I have a feeling was, and again, it's the whole time frame thing. I'm
not asking a time frame. I don't care about a time frame.
So,
he's in the bag saying,
my God.
And you say, fuck you.
When he, so, like, for, like, the whole few minutes that he was in there, like,
Minimum 11. But yes, go ahead. It's a few. 11. Minimum.
For one video.
Well, in between the two videos.
Between the two videos? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the question again?
When he's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe, let me out, and you say, fuck you, why don't you just let him out? What are you trying to prove to him? There's obviously something in your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like,
again, it's the boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where does this game end? Did you say this is a game? You got
obviously like the wrong way.
So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
It's so bad. Like,
this is going to be played for the jury. Hey, Flux. Hope your game went well.
So angry.
Yeah, and saying Sarah. Oh, it's just a boy crying wolf.
No.
No,
you
that's
can hear him getting weaker.
Yeah. What time am I ending my stream? When Jamie tells me I can end my stream. at 4 p.m. at the latest, because we have movie night on the Discords. Jamie is gonna watch The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she just yells, "It's not fair."
Yep. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you know, it's also not fair. Jorge's not alive anymore. Like, that's really not fair.
Yeah, and she keeps claiming it's a game. And in what world?
Yeah.
Did she think? Did her defense lawyer? He is the one who's supposed to be the smart one in the room. Did he think that he could get out of this part of this interview? This is ruining every defense she has of self-defense, battered spouse, accidental manslaughter, would even, because she's clearly aware he's there when she leaves.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and then it's either she's too drunk and she doesn't remember, or she had her wits about her because she wasn't that drunk, and she keeps going back and forth, and it's not like she makes it not clear of which it is, which is going to destroy any defense to the kind of whole accident thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the self-awareness to realize how humiliating this all should be. It takes a little of the fun out of it for me. That's actually what makes it more fun for me, to see this absolutely self-indulgent B-word sit there and think, I can outsmart this, I can outthink this, and I'll just make up a new claim, and a new claim, and a new claim, and a new claim. And I'm just loving that she's going to get out. But remember the part about the lawyer. We're going to read the prison inmates notes before we'll leave. We only have one more segment.
Yeah, one more short.
That's what happened.
No,
that's absolutely what happened.
Intentionally.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up a flight of stairs and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't, and you still didn't go down and
And
check
it's
on
the
him.
whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying to do,
about
whatever. It's like, for all I know, it's 10 minutes.
His life. He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you can't tell us why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed kind of thing. But, again, I'm thinking, he'll be up here in a minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
He's begging to be let out. He's not laughing. He's not having fun. This,
I don't know.
This was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing. You went upstairs. He had his fingers out of the bag and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys? So what is it you're trying to like?
We're just trying to figure out why.
Why? What?
Why?
What was the motivation for leaving him in the bag?
Why he was left in the bag? Why the?
I didn't have any motivation. It was me. He and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, and apparently me going upstairs and going hitting the bed, not going.
Just play that part.
Yeah.
I had no plan. We had a great day. I just went upstairs and hit the bed.
Yeah.
No self-defense, nothing after that one.
Fear of imminent harm at all.
Well, she could have even played up this angle because other than lying about like drinking, and I never drink and I would never drink, like, I mean, she's still not going to get away with it. But if she just stuck with like this, it would, you know, like I said before, like she stuck with this, like we were messing around. I was drinking. I know it's not an excuse, but you know,
yeah,
she could probably garner way more sympathy than what she's doing now. That's the whole thing, you know.
Well,
and I know sympathy isn't a reason to convict or not convict, but still,
no.
It could.
But I think had she taken some responsibility, she would have gotten probably a better plea offer, and it would have been okay. Here's 5 years. I think she honestly is expecting you to get off completely. In her mind.
Yeah, and I don't know if what offers has been extended to her. We know they have been in talks, but I bet you they didn't go with a 40-year like they did in the Carly Gregg. They went with, because again, just plead to manslaughter. We'll give you 5 years and 10 years on parole. We saw in the Treehouse case they'd let a man go after 2 years if he just plead guilty. So. Yeah. And what's hitting the bed? Well, according to her, she just went upstairs and was watching her shows. That's hitting the bed. But
basically
most likely, Your Life has it. Hitting the bed. See how careful she's not to say passing out. She's very careful of that. She should have said that because, again,
she should have.
Because that could bring it down to manslaughter, saying, yeah, I know I said something. I don't remember it. And I'm an angry drunk, and I just wanted to lay down for 5 minutes, and then I was going to punish him. I know that manslaughter, 15 years with 10 years on parole, no problem.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If she would have took some sort of responsibility for any of it, and yeah, you can plead. You could say the whole. It's not intentional. It's not intentional. I didn't mean to do this, but I take responsibility. It would look a lot better on her, and I think she might have gotten a better deal, or they wouldn't have be going so hard at her.
You see that a lot with DUI cases where, they get too drunk or too high or whatever. They end up hurting someone. And then when they're sober and realize what they've done, they are very remorseful and say, I didn't mean to do it, but I know I did it.
Yeah.
So.
And usually they get they're a little lighter on them sometimes.
Yeah.
Treehouse, I believe, was it March next year? It's moved to. It got bumped quite a fair bit.
Yeah, it got bumped far out that I
believe March or April, maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt she even made it upstairs to go to sleep. I believe she passed out on the couch listening to Jorge's death gurgles. Is she even that evil? She might be.
She might be.
Yeah, no matter what excuse she makes, she could have had let him out.
Oh yeah.
But let's just say, what would have been the best defense for her? Is it to spin a yarn about spousal abuse and therefore self-defense with an accidental, unintentional unaliving in the end, like some people believe, Or would it have been better just to say, I'm so sorry. I passed out because I am an alcoholic. I have been an alcoholic my entire adult life. It was a major accident, because that's manslaughter. Manslaughter is, she's at minimum facing 22 and a half years if she's found guilty. 22 and a half years. And with this interview, she will be found guilty.
Yeah. This and the taunting videos. I would be surprised if they find anything less than second degree on her.
Yeah, and yeah, her problem is she'll never admit to being drunk, and that's what Brian said. In the end, it just got too much for me. I couldn't live with her. That's what he stated in the video with Rodriguez at the crime scene. He said her drinking was just too much. I couldn't live with her.
Yeah, I have to go back and see when they filed for divorce too, because 4 years before this incident is when she had CPS called on her because she put her son in the suitcase. And it looks like it's Brian unzipping the kid. So that's why I'm wondering if like there are certain things where it went too far, and that, you know, with her drinking and everything, that with their son, where he was like, no, I can't do this.
How does him deciding to get into the suitcase play into it? It doesn't play into it at all, because she's the one who chose to keep him in there.
Yeah.
They could be playing. They could have been saying, "Oh, I remember that suitcase. Brian Jr. was in that, and stupid CPS came over." And Jorge could say, "Well, I used to be a contortionist. I can be in that." No, you can't, you fool. And he gets in there and she says, "Let's see if I can zip you up." All of that is fine.
Yeah.
You can consensually crawl into every small crevice you like to.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
The problem is if the person you lock up is saying, "Can you please let me out?" and you say, "No," because then you are doing something against their will.
Do you still have the pictures of the son in the suitcase? Because I guess some people haven't seen it.
Oh, they are on the... I have the timestamps thing up, so I have to go into the Discord after. Yeah, it's in the Discord. Let me just take this one. This is the last timestamp you put in.
Hey, all day.
That video.
All day.
Anybody looking at it, I don't think anybody look at that video and go, "George is having fun right now."
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me, you don't know me, nope, would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son? Like why? Like why are you so like caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When because you should be more concerned about what you told us. It's because what you guys are like trying the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now. Like what is opposite? Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing. We were playing before that. Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun.
Well,
because you're screaming at him. He's not going to get out. Screaming at him. Sounds like screaming at me.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. In no way, shape, or form was this intentional. At all. Ever. Okay. Are you still going to allow us to do your fingernails? Go for it. Go for it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to get that set up. Do you need any more water? No, but when you come back and I ask about this,
I'll resend them.
Yeah,
Give me a second.
I like that. I love the officer saying, "You can just share it." I love the officer saying, "It sounds like you're yelling at me."
I like when
But
she's
let's
drinking
go
a cup
and
of water and he's talking and she goes, "1 minute, let me finish chugging this water because I'm so hungover."
Yeah.
Down big that.
Yeah. So this was about 4 years before the incident with Jorge, and she posted these pictures on, I think, Facebook. And CPS was called by someone on her Facebook group, on her Facebook page. They went out and basically they ruled it, or not ruled it. They said that they couldn't do anything because the son supposedly willingly got in the suitcase.
Yeah. But and again, as long as it's a game and he's not being tossed around in it, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
It's
It just it also goes to the fact though that she knew, like, she was told by CPS you can't be doing these things, it can be harmful. Person can be unalived this way. And then she still did it with Jorge and left him. That's kind of where it goes to for me. And the fact that she denies that she would ever do something like this to her son or to anyone.
Yeah.
And so it goes that you have a history.
And that's the stupid thing, sharing it on social media, because that's public information.
Yeah.
But again,
forever.
that kid is even smaller than Jorge. Let's read the inmate notes before we end the show, because that's 13 minutes to movie night starts. There has been a lot about the computer back and forward, and nothing really. And then they are briefed that inmate Boone is no longer pro se, as she currently has legal counsel effective immediately. The laptop, charging cable, mouse, and carry bag needs to go back to North Perimeter, as she will no longer have access to these items. And that's what they are told before starting the shift. At approximately 8:10 hours, Officer Ivy called me from Bravo Dorm to inform me that inmate Boone was demanding the laptop and threatening to have OCCD held in contempt by the judge over her case for not providing her with the laptop. Officer Ivy informed inmate Boone of the directive from Captain DiGiovanni, and inmate Boone responded by stating, "She does not have the authority to do that. It must come from a court order. You guys will be in trouble."
Ooh.
I reached out to Admin Sergeant DeJesus, who informed me that the Honorable Judge Kranick was informed of this directive, as well as being that inmate Boone is no longer a pro se inmate, and there was no objection from the judge. Inmate Boone was informed that her passive-aggressive behavior towards staff will not be tolerated. Should her behavior continue or increase, she could face possible disciplinary infractions. Then she asked if she could take a shower before her meeting. At approximately 9:37, inmate Boone was issued her medication. Upon her taking her meds, she was told to open her mouth and lift her tongue. Inmate Boone then stated, "Do you want to ruffle my hair and shake my bra too?" Be advised, this is a common practice for officers to stop the inmates from storing or cheeking their medication. Is Jamie... She didn't even laugh at that one.
She laughed.
I did.
She laughed.
I was hoping for a good giggle. Shaking her bra. I would shake her bra. You're right, Becca.
Okay.
Yeah. And ruffle her hair.
Yeah.
She likes her hair ruffled, Baker.
Jess. Quit egging it on. Oh, it's so gross.
It looks so...
She's gonna make some other females' day when she becomes someone's, in jail or in prison.
Yeah. This is just turning over the laptop to her lawyer. While conducting medication pass in B-Dorm, all inmates were given numerous opportunities to take their medication. After announcing the last call for medication pass, several inmates approached the nurse's cart to take their medicine. As I was beginning to let the nurse depart my dorm, inmate Boone approached the cart. I notified her that the nurse was preparing to depart, and she became visibly upset and stated, "So you just going to deny me my meds? You know you can't do that, right? I need to let a supervisor know that you're not letting me take my meds." It is to be noted that while conducting medication pass, inmate Boone remained on a phone call for the entire duration of it. After speaking with RN Lexius, it was determined that Boone would be allowed to take her medication and advised her that her behavior would not be tolerated. Refuse breakfast, 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 breakfast. While conducting a visual inspection, inmate Boone was observed with staples in the seam of her pants.
Again?
Her pants were immediately replaced with an appropriately fitted size, medium. Don't do that to my girl. Those alky legs are small, even extra small. To which she began to complain about her appearance in the uniform she's been given.
God.
Gotta look good for the girls. This is now the second documented time inmate Boone has been observed altering her blues-issued uniform in this way. She knew it was against the rule the first time because it was swapped out then too. I asked her where she's getting the staples from. Inmate Boone replied, I got them from the books that the chaplains give me and from the books on the book card. You all keep thinking I have some kind of special access to this stuff. Inmate Boone was advised, with this being her second offense in altering her issued uniform, any further infractions would result in a disciplinary report. Inmate Boone stated that she wanted a smaller uniform pant because the one she was issued didn't fit properly. I reminded her the uniform is meant to simply fit and not reveal her figure. I informed her I would be placing a negative...
Wait. What was the date of this? And did she have a hearing that day?
22/9.
I can't remember.
9/22.
No, she didn't have one that day. No. At least it doesn't say that she's in court.
Well, because I'm wondering if she's doing that when she goes to court because she was making all those faces at someone.
She knows I like those camera. She knows.
Yeah.
Simply fit and not reveal her figure. I informed her I would be placing a negative in her inmate notebook to document the repeated and intentional violation of rules and regulations. She proceeded to threaten me by stating she planned to file a motion with my name in it, so make that negative really good.
Oh. Does that mean we're going to get another letter?
Probably. With the arrival of lunch meal, I called for the bottom tier B dorm to come get their meals in bunk order. Inmate Boone knows she does not receive a special diet, yet she came to the table where the lunch trays were placed, assertively and with what I perceived as an attitude, shoved her inmate ID close to my face, stating, Sarah Boone Bunk 4, I do not get a diet tray. Based on her demeanor, inmate Boone seemed to still have feelings over me replacing her self-modified blues uniform pants. Breakfast.
So, depending on how frequently they get their uniforms replaced, it's possible because her next hearing was 9/26.
It could be, yeah. Bible devotional daily bread in touch the word for you today, Aurora's book. Why?
That means she was given that.
Oh, this is a good one. Today, inmate Boone was scheduled for a visit with her legal counsel, and this is 5:10. So that's what?
3:19. You subtract 12 from the first number.
3:19.
Yeah, at 3:19 hours. 3:19 p.m. So.
No, that's 4:18 p.m.
No, that's when this note was entered, but she had a meeting with the...
You're talking about the way normal people write hours, so we know it's 3:19 in the afternoon. I'm saying it's 10/5/2024 if you want to compare it to one of the court dates. That must have been this just before the second to last hearing.
Yeah.
But today, inmate Boone was scheduled for a visit with her legal counsel at approximately 3:19 p.m. While passing by the briefing room, I heard a loud noise followed by shouting. Smack.
This was just after the motion to suppress.
Oh.
Because the motion to suppress came out 10-4.
I encountered Corporal CPL, I don't know, Pagan in the hallway and inquired about the source of the commotion. Pagan informed me that the noise originated from the briefing room. We proceeded to open the swing door and checked on the situation. Attorney James Owens acknowledged that he was the one who had yelled and expressed his apologies. I informed both Mr. Owens and inmate Boone that their interaction, regardless of its nature, was disruptive. Mr. Owens offered another apology, and I then exited the room. So
they were fighting again.
How much are you willing to bet me that she was sitting in there saying, "But just go with the battered spouse. It works. It works. I know it'll work because I can just say that." And we're gonna get that motion or that video thrown out. It's gonna be great. I'm betting you that's what she thought she could do, and he's probably sitting there yelling, "Are you an idiot?"
He did file a motion in limine, like today.
Oh, on a Sunday?
Yeah. It says.
Can you read it?
What's it about?
I'm on my phone. So this is okay. The defendant at second degree. That's her charge. It's about the interrogation again. So it says the following dialogue from pages 69 through 71, beginning on line
Giggity.
And so it's Detective Scott Lowen says, "Hold on. You had two different neighbors that live directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go." And Sarah goes, "Oh." Detective Scott goes across the way to somebody else. So this looks like it's about the they're here illegally, just so you know, like the neighbor.
Yeah, when she ratted them out to ice. Yeah.
So they're asking for that to be removed due to it's not relevant and it's improper character evidence.
Is it really relevant though?
Yeah, that she's a snitch who doesn't like her Mexican neighbors when she was killing a Mexican boyfriend.
It might become relevant if they testify and then she testifies and adds it or says that she, does something in the opposite. It could become.
Julia's right. This is from yesterday.
That's right.
They were yelling at each other yesterday.
So then the next one is when there's like several lines that they want stricken that are all across the various parts of it. But the first one is, "Well, he's dead as a result of your actions." Then another one is them saying it again, "He's dead as a result of your actions." And then Sarah saying, "I understand that." And then one of the detectives going, I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right? And then the next one was, "I thought about that." And then, "Well, intention or not, Jorge is dead. You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything." I don't know that that's going to get stricken because
no.
What part of was that? Just in the police body cams?
No, that was in her interview.
The interview we just watched, but we didn't watch the entire thing. So
okay. I didn't realize it was in the interview.
Yeah.
I actually think that isn't the pooping from outside the house?
I thought so too. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking.
The pooping was from outside the house because she gets mad that she's not allowed. Because I wouldn't let them upstairs, but the downstairs toilet is okay. That's when she's yelling about that.
Yeah, and that's the part from the interview that they're trying to exclude. So they say that all of this is law enforcement expressing their opinions, and he actually cites a case. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna probably fact check that later on, but it says in addition, said statements assume the truth of contested facts and encourage the jury to find the defendant guilty as charged because law enforcement officers said so. If this opinion evidence is admitted, the jury may assume the validity of the law enforcement officer's opinion because it was allowed in evidence and rely on this opinion in finding the defendant guilty. The issue of causation is exclusively the jury's job. The opinion evidence invades the province of the jury's fact-finding mission. And then they did the probative versus prejudicial. He made a statement about that, but I don't know if maybe they'll exclude the, well, he's dead as a result of your actions, but they're also trying to confront her with the evidence. So it could still maybe get it. I'm going to check his case law before I agree with him, though, because the fact that he even cited a case is miraculous.
I wouldn't let her in my gaff either. But I love that her argument was, well, they could just let me use the downstairs toilet. I wouldn't let them use my upstairs toilet either, but the downstairs toilet, that's just weird to do. How many people do you...
I have one. I have one bathroom.
I have one too. And if it's the neighbors who's always beating each other, and I know they're alcohol, do you know how much alcoholic poop smells? Yeah. Their diet isn't that good.
No.
Well, and what was the circumstances? Was she just out and about and she was like, knock, knock, can I go poop in your bathroom? Like,
I think something was happening to her own bathroom or something like that. But
yeah, like they were remodeling or something, or they were doing work on it.
Yeah, but I thought she said she had one available. That's why I was like, what is she doing? Like,
sorry guys, it was on my phone. I'll put it in the Discord.
Talking about the Discord, we are bound to round off this show because Jamie will now be going over to watch that thing.
Movies.
You gotta say it like that.
It's because I think it's a follow-up to your favorite movie, Leprechauns Back in the Hood. If you want to follow Jamie over to the Discord and watch The Thing, a suspense horror movie from Antarctica, where the polar bears live, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Go help Jamie figure out the difference between North and South on the Discord. If you're a member, there's a link for the Discord in the members tab. If you're not a member, please reach out to one of the mods.
Yeah.
Jamie, Jess, I don't know which one I'm pointing at right now. Marissa, Iris, one of them, they will help you get in there. It's a fun place. We have a lot of documents because whenever I don't read stuff, Jess just dumps it in there so everyone else can do it and yell at me for not reading it. There's a lot of fun conversations in the live chat.
Yep.
Movie night is one movie where they listen to the movie, and the other one is normally a really bad movie where they just talk.
Yeah, so, we have fun with it.
Yep.
So if I'm not watching Baker, I never watch Baker. I'm like Jamie. I don't watch this show.
I don't watch the show either. I don't even know what the show is. I don't know how I ended up here. I don't.
You know what this show is.
Jamie, the talk of the town. Dollars.
You know it's your show. And
sometimes you'll get some beauty on the budget advice from Jamie in Discord.
Yeah, sometimes.
She will tell you all, dude. I got a fake Yeti mug yesterday, Jamie.
Good. I mean, you can buy the real stuff, but there's good fake stuff out there, guys.
Fun story before I leaves. I have a story that says, oh my God, so gross. We had a dude that would intentionally himself in the ER lobby and dribble all over so he could get back When he came in, we started taking him immediately to the deacon shower.
Yeah.
We had a guy who was in court. I was doing jury duty for it. He had done a few different things. One of the things he liked to do was go to the local school and then do an upper decker. And they knew every time he'd been there, they would have to clean it because he just went in there and made an upper decker. So they tried to lock it. He will kick the doors down and do an upper decker. And
why?
Well, there was no real reason for it, but the police got really tired because he always wanted to fight them when they came to remove him. But he was doing upper deckers in the school all the time. So every time they saw him, they went down there to restrain him and call the police. But some people have fun. Some people doesn't have fun. This have been fun. Yeah. It's been really interesting to get a few highlights for why her defense idea is as stupid as she is.
Yeah.
Anyone who will sell you the thought that she has a good defense is probably the same person who has a really slightly used Statue of Liberty you can buy. Because you have to really don't understand either the law or what she actually says in her interview.
Yeah.
To believe that her defense will work. It's
well, and there's a difference between having a defense lawyer with you and having a good defense. Like you should have a defense lawyer with you because they're going to be able to do the objections and ask questions properly and maybe get you somewhere where you get some mitigation in there or you kind of get a legal technicality, but that's different than having a good defense.
Especially when you have so much damning evidence against you.
Yeah.
Because again, there's technicalities. There's if you try to get away with again, you mentioned the Ashley Benefield trial.
Yeah.
That could work because he had holes in him. She had some injuries to her.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened there. In this case, the guy was immobilized inside a suitcase.
Right. And is the only one with injuries.
Yeah. It just doesn't make anything. Someone is asking, what is an upper decker? An upper decker is when you, instead of using the correct part, you'll take the lid off and do your business up there. That's an upper decker. It really ruins the toilet. Shouldn't do that.
Poop in the tank.
Yeah.
It's a tank plunger. My old hospital ER would claim SI doing the weather so they can stay in the hospital for 3 days and get a meal. So sad. Oh. Baker, edit your title to include the today's motion in limine. But I don't have anything in my title other than preparing for the Boone Trial with Jedi Jess. But I can say...
You can add it to your description.
And the latest motion in limine. Plus inmate notes. Now it's been so long, no one will read it. But thank you for the idea.
Hey, there are plenty who watch you on Replay Crew.
There is plenty. We have 840 views right now with 178 likes and 206 people here. I don't understand how view count works because when I had way less viewers, I get more views for the same. Don't think about it. It's YouTube. It's I was right. I don't want to know, but you need to know that's because the next time I'm talking about a decker, you'll sit here and say, "Sadly, I know what that is."
Yeah.
What did Ashley have beside a scratch? Well, she had a little discoloration to her face, I believe. But again, it's still a defense than having nothing.
Yeah. She still had injuries compared to absolutely nothing.
and she had pew-pews going different places.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I know, Nanya, you and I weren't in agreement, and we shouldn't. There's no forcible agreement on this channel. But I'm just saying, it's a better defense to try working. If you don't like that case, the guy up in New England, Jamie, where was he? The pew-pewing.
New Hampshire.
Up in New Hampshire, the guy who put 7 holes in a guy, he had a way better self-defense claim because he had been attacked multiple times by 3 assailants.
And
he was still
followed.
found guilty.
Yeah.
And he was sucker punched twice.
Yeah.
So
and they followed him.
Yeah, they followed him down the alley where it eventually happened. So
yeah.
Which section of the Discord is the movie? Dowywood Times.
Yeah, and he'll start it. He'll start the event, and you can join once it gets going. So
yeah, but let you all. I'm going to ship you all over. Runkle has a stream later tonight. It's not live now. Do me a favor. Just put some donuts in his chat, so he knows we were by, and start him off with a good stream with a lot of likes before he starts. He would love that. And Runkle is what's known as a good egg. So show him a little bit of love.
He's funny.
He is really funny. It's just, it annoys me. All the good people are always streaming when I'm sleeping. That's why, because the bad person is streaming when I'm awake. Love you all. Thank you so much, Jess, for stopping by, smarting us up. Jamie, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You makes me happy when skies are gray. Ohio football is the best on the planet.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. All right. 100.
100.
Because it is 100% correct.
Objection, Your Honor. So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Go
right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.